Today, I want to share this idea with you about the future of work. It will be a lot happier. Because not only is happiness at work good for us, giving us healthy and better lives, but it's actually good for business. I've been studying this idea for a decade, and I started back in my own backyard. You see, my native country of Denmark is again and again listed as the happiest country in the world. And that's despite also having the world record of income taxation and a climate slightly on the cold side of being nice. So what is it specifically that the Danes do? Actually, I can add, do you know that 2/3 of Danes actually report liking their job, opposed to the global average of 1 in 5? With 1 in 6 in the United States, looking like a story you'd use to scare children. You know, you behave or you grow up and you get a job. Oh no! So what do the Danes specifically do to be happy at work? Well, it's all about the culture of our workplaces. I'm not going to get technical. Instead, I want to share 3 examples. First up is Lotte. It's a small Copenhagen home for the elderly. They only have 23 residents. 2 decades ago, the staff rallied around a shared vision of, instead of coming to work just to run this institution, they would create a home so good that they themselves would want to grow old there. And today, the changes are amazing. The most incredible fact is not that sick leave has dropped from 15% to now just 2%, nor is it that this has given them the means to take all residents with family as well as the staff on a summer holiday each year, touring Denmark or even going to Paris. It's not even that they have a waiting list of wannabe future employees and a waiting list of people who want to move in. No, the real miracle is in the quality of life among the old people. At Lotte, the residents are encouraged to eat, drink, smoke, and make love until it kills them. And it actually takes a while. It takes a while. The average life expectancy upon moving into Lotte is now double the national average, and they only have their happiness to blame. Can you imagine that? Old people living longer and better lives simply because their caretakers are happy at work. My next example is a bank. A small bank, just 11 branches, Middelfart Savings and Loans, from the small town of Middelfart. They started down their road to happiness 20 years ago. They decided to throw out all rules and procedures. This is a bank. Rules and procedures go, and instead focus on self-leading work teams guided by clear values. Now, they've spent a decade on the top 10 of best places to work, topping the list 3 times. In 2007, they were voted the best workplace in the financial industry of all of Europe. The brilliant thing came after, though. In 2011, a huge customer survey of the industry placed them at number 1 at customer service. Can you imagine that? We have more than 100 different banks in Denmark, and the one that customers are happiest about is the one where the employees are most happy. My last example is SoftScan. This is my favorite. A Danish retailer of antivirus software selling via telemarketing. They were founded a decade ago and quickly grew from 5 to 200 employees. Now, whenever a business really does great, I'm always interested. So I looked up the former CEO to get his secret. I'm thinking, what was it? Did they have this special sales approach, or maybe just a fast speed dial? But no, what they did at SoftScan was deliberately create a fun and engaging culture, and that made all the difference. In the end, it led to employee turnover rates half the industry average. Telemarketing is tough work. Some people burn out after 2 weeks or a few months, but at SoftScan, they managed to keep them on for years, and that made all the difference. I want to share something specific here, but first let me just ask you, how many here have tried a dress-up day at work like you would tonight for Halloween or at a theme party? Just a few, most have not. At SoftScan, they had Crazy Thursday every Thursday. You come in on a random Thursday, you might be met by a pirate asking you to walk the plank, or a cowboy telling you to please tie down your horse before you come in. Now, to create the kind of culture that supports this, imagine the shift in focus required of management, who must look not at work plans or financial statements, but instead look to their people and the kind of environment they're working in to create the best possible jobs. They did that at SoftScan. A kind of culture where employees were expected, no, rather required, to show up for after-work drinks every other Friday. A culture where people with work hours going from 8:30 to 16:30 sharp would voluntarily put on Prince's 1631 t-shirts just to show I'm not out of here by 1629. Now, creating creating happiness at work is creating a culture. And Peter Drucker said it very clearly. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. And what's really interesting about this case is not just the fun and games, but the results. When you do telemarketing, measuring productivity as easy as can be, you can track sales, calls, profits, and at SoftScan, can you guess which day of the week saw record productivity? Thursday. They saw sales peak every Thursday, yes. The same thing happened once a year when they, during the fall in rainy Denmark, rented a house in the south of Spain. To celebrate a good year, employees were offered the chance to go to Spain for a week and work from home, so to speak. Now, can you guess which week during the year saw record productivity? The week spent in Spain, poolside, as well as the weeks following, saw sales higher than the rest of the year. Now, I know that some people are caught in dreadful jobs that drain happiness, drain any fighting spirit. And they would be quick to point out that changes required are simply too big. You can't get there from here. Sometimes people are actually right. And my advice is always the same to them. Get out of there! It's more than a job, it's your life. You know, work should be about contributing, meaning, growing, making a difference, connecting. Not just a daily 8-hour gap in living. Work is the single activity we spend most time on, so make it count. You know, you want to flourish in life? Well, there's a very clear way to that. Get a partner, make good friends, and get a cool job. Unfortunately, the opposition is really deep-rooted because for 100 years, we've been focusing mainly on the content of work instead of how we go about working. So I often meet remarks like, you mean they're actually required to show up for the party? That's part of the job? Well, what's the compensation plan? Well, there is none. Statements like that completely miss the fact that in modern times, for us knowledge workers, not only doing mechanical, repetitive work, there is no longer a connection between hours put in and results achieved. None. It's like measuring sales at a store just by looking at whether or not the lights are on. The things are not connected. And as Dan Pink pointed out in his very famous TED Talk, money here is not the answer. You do not raise happiness levels by raising salaries. And saying that, I'm sure there's a few of you here who are willing to take a chance on that. And, you know, that's fine. By all means, make as much money as you can. If not for anything else, you can dress nicely for facing life's greater challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're waking up to a world where our physical needs have long since been met. We're realizing that more isn't the answer. And we're seeing a shift taking place, and we're talking about the future of work. And I believe that this shift comes not just from advances in technology and the rise of social media, but also from changes in the way we view the act of working itself. I actually believe that we're in the middle of a cultural revolution in the way we work. And I firmly believe that the future of work will be a lot happier. Last time you heard from us Danes, it was the Vikings who came calling. But now it's been 800 years, and we're back with a better message. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, success lies down the road to happiness. It's not the other way around. The future of work lies down the road to happiness. Some of us have a head start. You all have the power to make a difference. So go back and start a cultural revolution where you work. So you can change your lives and your organizations will prosper for it. I personally find joy in knowing, beyond a doubt, that the future of work will be happy. Thank you.